All right, what's going on, brothers? Hopefully everything's going good. Hopefully everything's going well for you guys. All right, brothers, we're gonna listen to this brother go by the name of Media Man, and he's gonna talk. And I'm a PowerPoint in, so we're gonna listen to what he's saying. We're not gonna. I skip past the introduction because I disagree with this brother. Nothing against the guy. Nothing against you guys can watch his channel, whatever. He got some good stuff there. All right, let's check this out. Let's get into it. So to give you some backstory, they're talking about Puff Daddy and Cassie. All right. So he's gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna just give you my thoughts. Okay, let's check this out.
Like I let evil go. That's how I feel about this Puff Daddy and Cassie case. Money shouldn't be that powerful. I sat there and I read that full 35-page document, and I seen all the alleged things that Puff Daddy did to Cassie, and for her to just take the money and run, it feels like she let evil get away. And I want to tell black men something, and this may be off.
I disagree. I read the 35 page too. I read it. I disagree. This is what I think. I'm gonna tell you, brothers. I read it. Give you a good summary. Puff Daddy is a freak. I will admit that. But the stuff Puff Daddy is accused of doing, I'm not saying it's right, but that's pretty much, I would summarize, I'm just guesstimating. That might be 50, I would say 40, that might be 55% of so-called black relationships. Bunch of fighting, you understand what I'm saying? Well, you know what I mean? Now, I personally don't think a lot of black men are the aggressors, but they do find themselves in a lot of domestic violence due to so-called black women, although Cassie is not black. So she alleged, he beats her up and things like that, yada, yada, yada. Do I believe it? Personally, no, I don't. But if it happened, it happened. The thing is, she was there for 10 years. She's full of crap. He told her, Puff Daddy is not a criminal. I'm sorry. I disagree. He didn't put a gun nowhere in that 35-page report did it say Puff Daddy put a gun to her head and told her to do such things. Now, she alleged Puff Daddy would tell her to hire male sex workers. She would go do it. And they would have what he called freak off sessions where, they would wear masks, do drugs, and he would watch the guys have sex with her. She chose to do that. She chose to do that, brothers. Any woman, anybody can say no. I guarantee you. A woman does what she wants, when she wants, to whom she wants. I've heard that. That's the way. What's this guy name? He's a white guy too. He's on YouTube. I ain't seen him in a long time. Coach Corey Wayne. That's what he says. And you know what's crazy? I had men tell me that way before Coach Corey Wayne. I knew he existed. Guys back in the 90s. Our brothers say don't save them. That was one of the things I remember. This girl was getting treated bad, right? And they was like, man, he shouldn't be doing it like that. He shouldn't be doing it like that. This is like in the 90s. And my elder in the neighborhood was like, man, don't leave that alone. Stay away from that. And they was like, why, man? Why, man? He said, because that's what she wants. She's still out there, right? And we saw that lady later on that night, cooking for this man. You know what I mean? Because we was in the same neighborhood. She's cooking for him, making his plate. He said that's what she wants. So it's nothing new under the sun. So I know I kind of got long-winded, but yeah, Puff Daddy is not a criminal, so I disagree. I don't think evil got away. All you got to do is say no. You ain't got to agree to that. Puff Daddy, it's not like Puff Daddy is forcefully taking something away from this woman, but let's go on.
Topic or, what you guys are expecting me to say, I'm going to tell y'all like this. This is not the case that you want to latch your card to. This is not the case. This is not one of those cases where you could be like, oh, well, they always trying to get black men and do this type of stuff. If you haven't read that 35-page document, there are too many working parts to where you could sit there and be like, hey, let's just wait till the facts come out. Because we all know that Puff Daddy has been in the news for crazy stuff for a while now, and nobody has done anything. But I'm just telling black men like this. I believe that you guys.
Yeah, for freaky stuff. For freaky stuff. Puff Daddy is a freak. All right, for freaky stuff. I'm not saying I agree with what he's doing, but that's his life. So, no, I disagree. I read the 35-page report. I disagree. You understand? And my thing is this. Like I said, a woman does what she wants, when she wants, to whom she wants. She stayed there for 10 years. Whose fault that is, that's her own fault. Even this man here, Medium Man, says the best way to deal with combative women is don't deal with them, which I do agree. And that's nothing new. Not to knock Medium Man. It's nothing new under the sun, brothers. Elders was telling us this in the 90s. Why y'all dealing with her? Why y'all messing with her? Why y'all... Elders was hitting us with this type of knowledge back then, but we didn't listen. You know, we was hard at it. Man, they don't know what they talking about. They old. That's how we thought. And they was just passing on good, factual, actual good knowledge at the time. We, you know, some of the elders, I look back at the time, man, we was blessed because a lot of elders, I ain't say a lot, but some elders I came across were numbskulls. They didn't know nothing. You know, but I remember those elders in the 90s, the guys we used to talk to in the barbershops and things like that, how wise these guys was and the great information they gave us. All right? So you ask yourself, with that same sentiment, brothers, that's all she had to do. She could have said no, walked away. Like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I don't want to be messed with you. But she wanted to. It's a money grab. She just got mad because she looked at the situation like, damn, I didn't get what I wanted out of it. And so she filed a civil lawsuit. And in my personal opinion, Puff Daddy just was embarrassed because he didn't want these things to come out. So he's like, let's just settle it. And there's nowhere in there they said that Puff Daddy's gay. So I read through it. It didn't say nothing about homosexuality. It just says Puff Daddy, it said he raped her. You know, she did claim that now. So, but anyway, that would be the only thing I would say that was criminal, was the rape. If he really raped her, and that's hard, that's hard to prove. You understand what I'm saying? If he did, and I'm not gonna put that on his jacket. I'm personally not gonna do that. But let's go on.
Guys will regret hatching your car to a case like this and trying to stay, neutral and things like that, because it's not a point of, for me personally, it's not a point of if he did it. I just felt that she let evil get away. This guy is now free, and I just read, it was a Shade Room. This just came out right before the show. It says, Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy has officially been dismissed in court. The SA lawsuit against Diddy has been officially dismissed in court. The court ruling to dismiss the case was filed with prejudice, meaning Cassie cannot file again. And the way that was able to happen is because she took the settlement. After reading that 35-page report, this is not one of those cases where you want to be a black man and you're going to sit there and try and take up for this guy. And also, I want to call out the black community, in particular black women, because I remember when Kim Porter passed and I saw multiple black women on P. Diddy's side when he was putting out those love letters and those love notes. Everybody in the comment section was saying that was who he was supposed to marry. That was who he was supposed to be with. Y'all was talking about his daughters looking just like her and how they're going to carry on his legacy. You guys were just supporting Diddy for his new album that just came out. So for y'all to just flip the script and be like, I knew he was guilty. I knew this was going to happen. No, you didn't, because y'all didn't say anything. And to all the people that were there, the security guards, the other singers that's coming out now and saying, I seen him drag Cassie this way and that way, allegedly, of course. Y'all are just as bad. And it's the same thing that happened with the R. Kelly case. I felt the same way.
I can understand what he's saying to a degree, but I still disagree. Why? Because those women wanted to be there. So-called black men understand this because we see it so much in the so-called black community. I'm going to give you an example. Brothers, this happened, I haven't seen it a lot over the years. I would say the last 7 years, I haven't seen it a lot. But I say from 2005, I'll say 2005 to maybe like 2009 or I'll go to 10. I would see, and I'm in the Chicagoland area, I would say at least 3 times out the year, if not maybe 1 to 3 times out the year, I would see black men and black women fighting each other like a couple, and nobody would do nothing. I remember this one particular incident. Me and my homeboy, may God rest his soul, you know, we on the back balcony barbecuing. We just kicking the bobos. This girl and this black guy, you know, so-called, you know, black couple, they're going at it. I mean, my man is putting the wheat wax on him. Leave it alone. She throwing stuff at him. You know how it be. She kicking him, and he just waxing her. And my boy, he threw a bottle trying to throw it in the garbage, and he did. It landed in the garbage, and that caught their attention. And the dude looked up. They looked up, and my man's like, "Oh man, I'm just throwing some in the garbage. Proceed." And they got back busy. You know what I mean? That's just the type of stuff you see in the so-called black community. You know, I'm not saying it's right, but it is what it is. So for those security guards, those guys who are there, I don't think those guys are guilty. One, because those women want to be there. Now, I can understand the R. Kelly situation because they say the girls were underage, but for the documentary, all those girls were 17. Except for the one girl who lied about her age. Then I think it was one girl, I think it was actually 2 girls who was actually in their 30s. So what you supposed to do, man? What you supposed to do with grown women are in that situation, man? I'm sorry, Mania, man, but I think you need to reevaluate this. You need to reevaluate and assess that situation. But that's neither here nor there. But brothers, you can't do, if that's what they want to do, what you supposed to do? I'm not finna get involved with that. It's not, I didn't read not one time that he put a gun to her head. Now, the 2 things that was criminal, I would say, was if he did it, rape, and blowing up Kid Cudi's car. I'm like, what? And I haven't heard Kid Cudi say anything, somebody blew up his car, and I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm like, whoa. In my opinion, I'm thinking like, if I'm Kid Cudi, somebody blew up my car, I'm going to be on edge, like, what happened? Who blew up my car? You know what I mean? I be trying to follow a police report like, yo, man, somebody blew up my car, man. What's going on? So I'm not sure if that happened or not, man. You know, allegedly. And I really don't think that it happened. I haven't heard Kid Cudi say anything about it, but, you know, that would be the only 2 criminal acts I saw that he done in there. Everything else is up to her. She wanted to do it. How you gonna tell somebody, oh man, he wrong, he forced her to rob the bank? No, he didn't. She put a gun, she grabbed a gun and went in there and robbed the bank too. So she deserved to go down. I'm not buying it, man. I'm not buying it at all.
I wasn't questioning if the brother did it. I was like, man, why y'all didn't say anything? That was my stance on it. And I know that, you know, hey, it was a money grab. It is what it is. She got her money. She's going to ride off into the sunset. She can't speak about this again.
Because that's all she wanted. She didn't care about nothing else. You know it. That's why you say it's a money grab. That's all she wanted. Because everything else, she agreed to do it. It probably excited her to have sex with other men and all that type of stuff. It probably excited her. You know how freaky women are. It probably excited her. And she started looking back at her life like, man, you know, she probably was struggling for money and, you know, probably felt slighted. Because Puff Daddy is making, you know, he's a billionaire or whatever. I say the billionaire, but you know, however much money, but you know, he's $600-700 million he got, if not more. And she probably only got a couple $100,000 to her name. If that. So it feel like they're being used. They disgruntled. And that's all she wanted was the money. Because that's all it's about.
Can't write no books. It is what it is. She took the money, she ran. But that's not to say that stuff probably happened, allegedly. And there's been multiple people. I just saw an interview with Desi Banks. I am Desi Banks when he was first coming into this space of getting some fame. You know, the internet comedian and now a stand-up comedian. He was doing an interview, I believe, with Chris Rock's brother, Tony Rock. And Tony Rock told him to stay away from that, take that house.
You know, coming into the game. Like, you've been in the game for a long time, man.
Somebody's house for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Stay away from that. Stay away from the take that mansion. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, stay away from that. All right. Second, they're laughing because they know it's true.
Yeah, I'm new, so I don't know.
Do you think you have what it takes to make like it never even happened happen? Then you belong at the #1 brand.
And it was multiple people.
That's not Tony Rock. I forget that guy's name, but that's not Tony Rock though. But yeah, they said stay away from that. What they mean? They talking about freaky stuff. You know, probably homosexual activities going on, all type of crazy stuff going on. That's why they tell them to stay away from their house. You think they'll be telling them, hey, man, stay away from their house, man. They fighting and beating people up, I mean, of course, they probably would say that too, but, those guys are saying that because Puff Daddy's doing some freaky stuff. Puff Daddy's not that dumb to invite people to this house and they out there beating people down and crazy stuff like that. He ain't that dumb. So they wanted him to don't go there because he's doing some freaky stuff. Like I said, when you look at that 35-page report, when you read it, that's all he's guilty of, really. In my opinion, is he's a freak. I mean, he's one of them. He's a freaky dude, man. Taking drugs, want to have excessive sex. He's a freaky a freaky person or whatever. That's pretty much it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, like I say, the rape part, that should be. She should have filed charges on that. And blowing up kids' cutting car. That's it. What else do you have? What else do you have to say that evil got away is what he's trying to say? What else do you have? Because trust me, brothers, I guarantee you, it's guys, he from Houston. It's guys in Houston who's way worse than that, who's out there killing and carjacking people for swangers and vogues. I guarantee you. Probably a guy who's probably in this neighborhood with 8 bodies on him. Puff Daddy, only thing he should be going to jail for a criminal activity is for blowing up that man's car and raping that woman. If he did it. Let's go on.
That has been saying, hey, Diddy is doing some crazy stuff. We've all been hearing these rumors for years and years. And
freaky stuff.
Nobody has said anything. The people that can actually do something. So for one, I felt that she let evil get away. Because if that man did those things, all the stuff that he did was listed in that 35-page report, he needs to be behind bars because he could potentially do that to another young woman. So that's my stance on it. I'm not with the whole, hey, man, black men need to be, stuck on code in situations like this. This is one where we may disagree. And frankly, I don't care because I'm honestly pissed off at both sides for him for doing it for one, and also for her letting evil get away because he's going to melt back into society at some point. He's probably going to take a break a little bit and then he's going to be back because he's free. So I know sometimes we like to be tough and pro-man and things like that, but I'm just letting black men know this is not the case where you're supposed to be, hey, standing strong and like, hey, man, that don't mean that he did it. I get that. It's her side. She told the story. But if you read the 35-page report, there's too many working parts. People were there. So if it comes to a point where it's going to be multiple people coming out trying to sue Diddy, hopefully one is the criminal case where this dude can get tried.
What do you mean working parts? Only time I saw where people were there was, okay, she said the bodyguards. I remember that. And her friend, Morgan. And P Diddy threw a hanger at the girl. So what are you talking about other people? That's the only time that I can remember reading in the 35-page report, man. You probably had to reread that, brother. Her friend Morgan, P Diddy came into the house unannounced. They got into it. I think P Diddy threw a clothes hanger at it. Okay. Lock him up for throwing a clothes hanger at you. And then, what if the clothes hanger is plastic? Or iron, man. I remember being a little kid throwing clothes hanger. You know what I mean? That is not going to constitute a crime. And those things pretty much do not really hurt like that. I mean, unless you got those iron ones. So, and I remember the security guards, I remember that. And, of course, she would say, like, she would leave. And other people in his who worked for him would, like, reach out to her and tell her, try to convince her to come back. That's pretty much it. What do you mean moving parts, man? That woman wanted to do it. It's no sympathy for her, brother. And it's not about sticking on code for as a man. No, man. It's about judging these things from a rationale standpoint, not emotions. not from feelings. And I believe, and I'm suspicious that this guy is judging things from feelings. Maybe he dated a woman who experienced something like this, and it affected his judgment. Let's go on.
I want evil off the streets. So I encourage you guys to go ahead and read it and see what was said. It is no way you could say, maybe you could take one or two things she may embellish. But all that stuff, I seen a video or a picture of Cassie a while back where she had like a bandage on her forehead and also her lip was busted. And people were like, she said that she fell down, but I knew that wasn't true. Well, if you knew that, why y'all didn't say nothing? I didn't know anything about the seven until recently. So I'm blaming the people that was around. I'm blaming Diddy because money shouldn't be that powerful. It should not be that powerful for you to shut up and let evil just get out there. That's my stance on it. I don't like these types of situations. And it's just my opinion. And, everything is alleged, but I just don't like it. I don't like this. I just seen too many black men trying to come to Diddy's rescue. And I'm like, y'all, this ain't it.
Well, that's it right there, brothers. You can go watch the video on his channel. I disagree with them, brothers. And you can read that 35-page report. I'll say you some trouble. I think you can read it, I would say, from 30 to 35 or 31 to 35. It's just pretty much going through the lawsuit or, why they filing, in the pursuance of this action. So, really, all you got to read is 1 through 30, really. You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken. But anyway, brothers, I disagree with him. It's not about staying on code. Only thing Puff Daddy is guilty of, if this is true, blowing up that man's car and raping that woman. And money, and you might don't like that money is powerful, but it's always have been and it always will be. I don't say always will be, but it's always only way that's gonna change. The powers that be have to change. As long as we have the powers that be who rule these societies, which is what you can say that the Roman way, money is always going to be powerful. Even in ancient times, you see what I'm saying? So you can get mad how you want about that, brothers. Money is power. Always have been. So you sound naive. You sound naive. So, but that's it right there, brothers. You guys can read it. And that's it, man. I disagree with him wholeheartedly. I think this guy is judging it from a emotional standpoint. It's just my personal suspicion. And that's it, brothers. I'm out, man. Peace.